Okay, so I'm out flying my Spitfire Mark 24, getting it ready for squadron battles. And I find myself in this match, and I have a low sun here, and I notice I got this guy. Isaac be there for a while. I got this guy chooses my target, um, and I know when the sun's behind you, you kind of disappear a little bit. See, I don't see these guys disappearing. See, maybe because they're bigger. Those were bombers. I don't know. But this guy in this 109 keeps disappearing. Um, Normally I fly Americans. My American crews are all maxed out, and these Spitfire crews, um, normally I do like reloading and all that stuff before I even do what is it, keen vision awareness. Those things are kind of the last things I do. So I'm wondering if this is has to do with my awareness and keen vision. Well, this guy sees the other one just dropped out too, right? So anyways, I had this challenge. B29 just popped up. Okay, so I don't know if that's like a roll or something like that. Okay, so anyways, I find this guy here. We're fighting top down. I really want this B29. It's kind of, I've heard other videos or ever flown with me. This is what I do. I protect our bomb targets from bombers. There's usually four down there. Maybe they already hit it. I don't know. Okay, but I want this B-29, but first I need to dispatch his escort or any fighters that are around there. Um, not just gonna go for the bomber and have this guy whack me, right? So I'm watching him. Also, he's in a squad or has a squad, so need to represent for the IML. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're diving. I anticipate he's coming in after me. Um, Now, what I need to protect of for, because we're talking about vectors, and we're talking about getting within the flight path. So my flight path is back here. In order for him to come get on my flight path, right, he's got to come this way, okay, to get on our flight path. So thinking vectors, if he comes this way, his vector's pointing out that way. So what I want to do is roll into him, right? So we can cross our vectors. We don't want them getting parallel. So I'll go ahead and turn into him. I'm thinking about, I know we don't see it out here, but normally we have the pipper out in front, which is somewhat, also you could think of it as your lead indicator when you're playing an arcade, and what you want to do is move that sucker around so he can't shoot it. Okay, so but what we're going to do this time is we're going to watch it from this perspective as he tries to shoot me down, so we can see a little bit more what I'm talking about. So see he's diving in here, and I'm turning into him at this point, and you'll see the indicator go out this way. Um, this guy, he's gonna go ahead and continue to climb, because normally when you pass somebody like that, the other person turns right into you, right, and follow you. So he's used to that. So what he would do is climb, wait till that guy stalls out, because he had the energy. But that's not what Smoke did. Smoke maintained his energy. He comes out there, and now he's gaining some altitude. So we're trying to get equal altitude. But since he's on me, I have to turn again. So we're going to maintain that energy. We're diving, going into him. We're doing a defensive roll right here, and we're up. Okay, now we're working on that altitude advantage. He's going pretty fast. Like he's 650 right now. I know I'm not that fast. I'm not looking. But here we're doing some defensive rolling again. We're moving the pipper around because usually people are shooting at it, right? um, what they need to do is anticipate where he's going to make the kill. We're talking about vectors. Okay, so this vector right here, we can see it. He has one there. If we point at it, we square it off, right, with the wings. Right, here's a wing. We'll try to make it like, perpendicular or whatever. So like this. Vector's pointing out that way. Right? It's pointing out there. It's way in front of the aircraft. It's not even in front. It's like up here somewhere. So I know he's trying to turn, but what he should be mostly focused on is getting back underneath this flight path here and trying to get on my 6, trying to get the lead pursuit from behind here. But what he's trying to do is he's pulling his nose. Once your vector here is in front of this aircraft, that's what you're doing. You've switched to your nose vector and you're pulling it over. You're pulling too hard. Okay, he should be trying to get around or whatever. Maybe even pull up here, then roll over and come back down. But he's not. Almost everybody is pulling the nose, trying to get to here. Okay, this is too hard of a turn, and he's going to continue to do that. If I don't know, right? We're just going to switch over here. Look at mine. Okay, so I kind of have. You can barely see it. It's right there. If you square it, right? If we square it like this, right where it's pointing. If we square it, you see it's pointing out this way. Out that way somewhere, right? It's pretty square. Behind his tail. And that's what the fight is all about. That's how you're turning more efficient. Okay. So there he is. We're gonna watch him a little bit more. Let's get rid of this. Not lose myself. So we find ourselves kind of in a downward spiral here. He's in pretty good position here. You see it's pointed to my tail, but he right here. Okay, you see, instead of having his wings, this way, and with his vector pointing towards he should have, had his wings this way, right? Oops. Right, so he has it kind of. Right, he has it too far this way. His wings should be like this, and his vector pointed like that, towards the back. But he's almost rolling over and almost giving me a 6 at this point. We're gonna watch. So here, when he turned so much, he almost turned right in front of me. There again, right, I almost got a shot on him. So we're getting closer, or I know I'm getting closer because of the way that we're passing each other now. There's vector here in front of me. If we switch it right to mine, there's his tail. My vector's pointed out that way. I'm almost at a point where I can roll over and get behind him now. Okay, so this is just who could ever maintain this vector and think about it to the tail. Most in these dogfights, that's the person who's turning the most efficient. Where'd I go? Where am I? There I am. Okay, so we're gonna watch him. I think I'm gonna slow it down right here a little bit. It gets kind of crazy. All right, so you can see I'm getting closer and closer to his 6, and then what he does is, I guess he goes back to what he tried to do at the beginning, try to stall me out, but he's much slower now. So he's 500, 516. And where am I at? Oh, we're pretty close. Okay, but now you can see that I've switched to the nose vector. He's starting to pull up. Yeah, I'm rolling out of it, out of the turn. And now you can see here as our wings begin to become parallel with each other, and our vectors become parallel with each other. We're all squared up, and he starts taking hits. Right, and then he's down. So, I mean, there's a lot of angles and there's a lot of, lead pursuit, true pursuit, lag pursuit, all that business. If you just focus on this, keeps you from overturning, underturning. And the more that you can become efficient in your turns, the more you're able to get that, I guess, what is it, that lead pursuit while you're on the enemy 6. And that's how that works. And the more you do, the more in control you feel, the more relaxed you are, right? The more you see what's happening, what's going on in the fight, and the more successful you are. You're not so worried about getting shot down, right? Because you're starting to think about all the angles and getting more efficient in your turning and more lethal with your shooting. All right. I like my paint job. Hey, I'm wondering. So one thing I'm going to talk to Manable about is, maybe I shouldn't say so. I'm not going to say so just in case somebody checks me out later. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna sign off for now. Peace.